Thank you for joining this information session on Greater Insight. Today, we'll take about 10 minutes to give you a sneak peek of the key features for benefit inventory, reporting, and research. So what can Greater Insight help a multinational achieve? We think about this in 5 areas: cost identification, understanding the details of your benefit spend and finding opportunities for savings, plan and policy governance. That could be, for example, tracking that corporate policies are being reflected in your local benefits, or documenting sign-off on benefits programs from your HR managers. Market competitiveness. Greater Insight is our delivery mechanism for research data, including typical market practice among multinationals, and that allows you to compare your plans directly against our research. Third-party harmonization. At a minimum, having one place to store information from all the different insurers and brokers that you work with is a plus. This also gives you a chance to look for opportunities for consolidation. HR inventory. One place to gather and store all of your benefits programs. This, of course, allows you then to make comparisons of those programs and ensure that you're M&A ready for when those situations come up. We've been investing in this platform for over 9 years, and we continue to invest in the power of information. Today, that means that we can leverage data for over 400 multinationals and 200,000 different benefit programs. Because Greater Insight is our delivery mechanism for research information, you can also find 89 country profiles here, 90 benefit snapshots, and our Global Benefits Bulletin information, which is our weekly updates on just the latest legislative changes. And we'll look at these last 2 points a bit later in our session. Because this is our integrated technology for all of Aon Health Solutions, we invest $15 million annually in enhancements. Those are colleague-led, carrier-led, and most definitely client-led. So with that, let's go to the demo. I'm going to be showing you a demo directly here in our live site to be sure that we're showing you the latest and greatest. When we log in, we can see a dashboard with our key widgets. If I was looking at this from a generalist standpoint, I'm interested here that I can see my plan costs, the reports that I use the most often. I can see things that are coming up for renewal, as well as the research data that Aon has made available to me. On this screen, I can also add different dashboards if I'd like, and I can add new widgets to any dashboard. So let's look at these dashboards to see where we stand today. It's mid-April, and I can see that I have renewals coming up in Ireland and in Canada. Let's focus on Canada, and maybe I'll start by checking out what do I know about the Canadian benefits market. So I'm going to go to our Canada Benefit Snapshot. In this document, we start off with some general market information, like the cost of employment. I can review the prevalence of benefits among multinationals like myself, the pooling capabilities for the insurers in the market, key points about the typical benefits overview, and then I can really get into detail. For each benefit type, we're going to see what's provided by the state, what I'm required to offer as an employer, as well as the typical market practice. So we started with retirement, but we also include death and disability. Here I can understand when the various state-provided and employer-provided benefits will become available to an employee who's unable to work. This document also covers healthcare, time off policies, termination, and vacation. So this gives me a really good review of a comprehensive set of benefits before I start thinking about my renewals. From here, I want to check whether there are any recent legislative changes that might impact my plans. So I'm going to go to my Global Benefits Bulletin widget, hover over Canada, and when I click through, I can see the latest information related to the COVID-19 pandemic. And I can also scan through to see which benefits are going to be impacted by each of these announcements, how likely they are to come to pass, and what kind of impact I can expect. As I scroll through here, I don't see anything that's going to impact my health, life, or disability plan renewals. So now let's focus on what do I know about these plans that are coming up. Let's start by looking at the plan costs. When I go to my plan cost widget and click on Canada, I can see with no surprise that my healthcare and dental programs are taking up most of my benefit spend. I can also hover over each of these benefits to get a quick glance, and I see that these are all benefits that I'm fully sponsoring as the employer. Let's look at the financial trends. And so here I can see changes in my spend over time. 2016, when we first started collecting this data, this big increase in 2017 when Coffee Buzz went through an M&A, but then our more recent years where we had no premium change and then just a 3% increase last year. And here, of course, we can see that my plans haven't all gone through renewal yet. Now, since I've got a brokerage relationship in place with Aon, I can see where we are in the renewal process in the renewal status widget. Here, for Canada, I can see that I've got 4 programs in the red, and that corresponds to my 4 renewals that are coming up. The red is telling me that the latest status in our 7-step process hasn't been updated by my Aon contact yet. But I know that we're actually meeting next week to talk about my needs, so this makes sense. Maybe I'll just go ahead and look through this life program in some more detail. On the information screen, we're going to see some standard data that we collect about all benefits programs. Which entities, which employees are covered, when do these benefits become effective, but also the insurer and any pooling arrangements that we have in place, and some details about my brokerage arrangements. When I go to the provisions, I can see the details about my benefits offering. Let's go straight to the Life Benefits tab to focus on how much these benefits are offering for my employees. So the amount of life benefit is 2 times earnings. It's using base salary only. There's no minimum, capped at 500,000. Okay. Since this benefit template asks about each of these data points separately, I can be sure that we're collecting the level of detail that I want, and that all of the key elements about my programs are collected and going to be easy to compare later. And when I say easy to compare, that could mean that if I have multiple life plans I need to harmonize in Canada, it'd be easy to see what the differences are. But also, when we get to reporting, it means that I can compare my benefits directly against Aon's research. Let's move to the Financials tab, where I can see some more detail about the premiums that we looked at in the Plan Cost widget. Under Documents, I would be able to see documents that my colleagues or that the Aon brokers have uploaded related to this policy. Or we could go to Sign Off to see who's reviewed this data, either from a quality perspective or from a governance one. Now, rather than going through each plan here, I'd like to get all of this information in an Excel format so I can share it with my colleagues. So I'm going to run a report. When I go to Express Reports, I can see all of the reports in the suite that are organized by category. Now, since I know exactly which report I'm after, a country report, I'm going to go to the list view where I can start typing in the report name to find what I'm looking for. Here I can also see that country reports are starred. That's because this is something I've set as a favorite report, so it appears on my dashboard, but I can also run this report directly from the favorite reports. Now, once my report runs, it's going to generate to my user inbox. When I open my Excel, the first thing that I see is this AD&D program, which renewed back in January, but I can also see all of my plans for Canada, my healthcare plans that are coming up for renewal, the life program that we looked at on screen, but also even LTD and STD. If we look at this life program, now in column B, I can compare my benefits point by point against the typical market practice for multinationals. And here I can see that I'm largely in line with what other multinationals are offering. This all looks good to me, but before I sign out, I want to check that I'm signed up to get email alerts for any changes that might come up. So I'm going to go back to GI, and here under reminders, I can sign up either to receive an email as the renewal dates approach for these plans. I could also sign up to get an email anytime that a document is uploaded for any plans in a given country. Or I can sign up for GBB reminders so that if there are legislative updates, rather than checking in GI on the widget for the update, I'd just like to get an email. I can decide how often I get that alert, what kind of alerts I want to learn about, for which countries, and for which kinds of benefits. So in this renewal example, we did not go through all of the menu items, but to give a quick tour, under Plans and Financials, I could have seen the rest of my benefit programs. I could use the Research widget to have gone back to see all of the legislative updates for Canada instead of just those most recent ones from the dashboard. The GBOR menu is where Aon will be tracking the details about the renewal process for each of my plans. Or under Help, I can find training materials that I can download, or I can ask a question to send this back to Aon. So that concludes our sneak peek of Greater Insight. Today, we got a good look at data management. From the dashboard alone, we reviewed benefits plans and got a taste of reporting and research. We only talked briefly about some of the benefits of a global brokerage appointment, but our world-class broking and other initiatives are key ways we deliver value to our clients. We'd love to tell you more about how we can leverage the big data and Greater Insight to power analytics tools like Explorer, Quantum, Risk Analyzer, or our healthcare analytics to help you understand the value of your plans and benchmark yourself against other multinationals. Lastly, if you'd like to simplify how employees access information about their benefits, we can show you our employee-facing apps and, within Greater Insight, the employer benefits management tools we can make available to you. Thank you again, and we look forward to working with you.